But I assume that you wanted to get some stuff done today, right?
Actually no, because I already spent on my missiles, but it's still good for the next event.
Okay, so I guess maybe that as a introduction, did you spend on the cube sale?
Both. So I saved up about 35 bill,
Mm-hmm.
spent 20 on cubes and 15 on Star Force.
Okay,
So
does that mean your situation is significantly different from the pictures then?
uh no, because what I did was I kind of already knew I was going to do that. So it's more like moving forward.
Right. So yeah, because you had
Yeah.
like with backups and upgrade costs and everything, I saw you had like a lot of stuff. Did you reach all your goals?
So on that one, okay, well, if so you're what on the upgrade cost tab,
Mm-hmm.
I assume?
Yep.
Yeah, so pretty much what I did was I did the arcanes to
Mm-hmm.
17, and then whatever that was in 17, I got it to 17, and then I was out of mesos. So
Okay.
now I guess my uh, dilemma going forward is should I just do the CRAs to 21 or work on the fodders for sweet to for Golics? Or should I do just like one star at a time and then like slowly creep it up to like 19 or 20,
Mm-hmm.
that type of thing. I think on the cube stuff, I think I'm pretty good. All the end game gear, it's either like 27 or 33,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in there.
Yeah, like 27 for the
For
CRA
the yeah
stuff, and then
below
30 or
yeah yeah
33
yeah
for the 160 plus stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
And gloves, is that double crit or single with stat?
No, it's 13 strength, WSE, no, DSE plus crit.
Okay, yeah. I think that's the exact
Not
same. I have a My
bad.
Hero glove as well. Yeah, that's like the closest thing you can get to double crit without rolling double crit. Yeah.
Yeah, I spent 7.5 on
Mm-hmm.
on blacks, and then yeah, it didn't nothing. I actually got 3% from strength. It was 10 strength.
Okay, yeah. Well,
So
gains are gains.
yeah.
Step in the right direction. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then and I guess the other main thing for your potential is your WSE, right? Where that's at.
So right now I'm using a one-handed axe because that's
Mm-hmm.
the first drop I got. I was
Right.
using one hand regardless. But I'm going to transition to two hand.
Yeah.
So in my equips, I think I put in the secondary, or if not, then yeah, it's on line 139.
Wait. Down
So
here.
it's 18 attack, 40 boss.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That thing's, I guess, is pretty good for now.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Yeah. Especially with the balance of boss damage versus attack. Definitely nothing
Yeah,
wrong with having a line of attack there.
yeah. Emblem is 3 line already. Thought I
Mm-hmm.
got lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And the weapon, I think I plan to keep it at 2 lines for now. I don't think it's gonna. I feel like the cost to upgrade that is pretty high.
Yeah. Especially if you're gonna switch to another weapon, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm just waiting for a two-hand drop.
Yeah, you're waiting for or if it takes way too long, then maybe you make it. I guess.
No,
No,
I'm
never.
very, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm pretty patient
Mm-hmm. Okay.
on that aspect.
Yeah, it depends also if you really want to make a big jump and you want to, if there's something that you need a lot of damage for, right?
Well, yeah, right now on the bosses, in the routine tab, I pretty much do party, H lucid, and H will. I stopped doing H lomian because I don't feel like the drops will be useful
Mm-hmm.
for now, so I'd rather get the mesos instead. And I think my goal right now is to solo H Lotus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think damage-wise, it's definitely more doable than Damien, but it's just annoying. But
Yeah,
it's good practice to learn for the Tenebris bosses, for sure.
yeah. Exactly. Still not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think I need to be what 255 for like Dark Nil and Vihela.
Yeah. Gloom is already doable, right? Level-wise, but... Or isn't it?
Yeah.
What are the levels again? I keep forgetting. Because Vihela is... Yeah, well, you want to be higher level for the bonus damage, but I think Vihela is 250 to enter, no?
Yeah.
And then Gloom is 255, and then Dark Knight is 260, or is 265?
Probably that's the limit now, so 255?
Oh, 255, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people always add the... Oh, 245 for Gloom, yeah, and then 250 for Vercel. But people always add the 5 levels because of the final damage at that point. I think that might go away, because it's not like people say you have to be 255 for Will because he's level 250, right? People don't really say that because you can get enough damage to like overcome that. And I think for these bosses now as well, more and more, people will start trying the bosses earlier because of the final damage change to the passive. I think those barriers of levels will probably go down a little bit. Yeah. Oh, Dark Knight is level 265, right? So the entry level is 255, but if you go at 255, you're taking a lot of final damage reduction. So you want to be at least 260 probably, but closer to 265 the better, so you don't get hit with final damage reduction, right? That's the main thing. Okay. Right. So we have some of the equip backup stuff. Oh, so you already updated all the pictures basically of what you got today?
Yeah. It's the most up to date.
Okay. Wow. And you keep this just for yourself as well to keep your log of.
No, I did it for you.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Thank you.
I did this for you, but it was. I guess it was good because it kind of allowed me to get a holistic view of
overview
this
of
character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anything, it had that value. Let's.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think when I planned to do the session and I did this whole thing, I realized, you know what, I should definitely save my mesos wisely and spend it wisely, and then that's what I did. So the indirect effect helped me.
All right, so okay, cool. That's all to know. Well, I guess I just wanted to know if I could have just asked if you already updated everything. That's that would have been a better question. So let's start from the beginning then. Let's backtrack a little bit. So you're still 253, right? Like in the 250s.
Yeah.
But where do you train now? Do you train Moonbridge?
VC. I recently moved back to VC3 because it's less crowded.
Okay.
And I think it's just more brain dead than some of the other maps. I tried the other one. Where is it? Is it Labyrinth in Lab?
Okay.
I think it's called Labyrinth of Suffering Interior 1.
Yeah.
It's a smaller map. But I think the rates there were slightly worse. I think for good, if I have everything with the pendant and MVP, I would get 120 bill per hour. If not, no MVP is about 100.
Okay. I know, usually there's good burning there, but you think VC3 is less crowded now? I would have. Oh, maybe people moving away from VC3 and onto their Kanas to farm in the last week or so.
Yeah, well, this week was very crowded, but before that, I can definitely at least 3-4 channels will be free for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the channel crashing at some points, and maybe that could have been a factor as well. People were like, I'm not doing a big session. What if I crash and lose all my stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. But you're still steadily going up. You're still enjoying the mobbing as much as you can, being a hero.
When I hit 250 around during summer, and I took a big break of grinding because I did a calculation and it was a lot of totems. Right now I'm doing 15% per totem. So there's 7 per level, so I would need at least 14 to get to 250. 255.
Yep.
So it's a lot of work that. So I'm like just slowly getting it out there.
Yeah, just slow and steady.
Yeah. Yeah. And also I do want to have the damage as well. Get it maybe like close to 10 trill before I hit 255. Yeah. So.
And are you like are you moving towards that? Do you know like your current BA?
I checked it yesterday. It was 7 trill. So I guess if I had a couple more 20-star items, it could get to. I actually don't know what 10 trill looks like in terms of equips.
Yeah.
I have friends who are like 12 with the similar stats. You know.
Yeah, probably have to ask another hero who's like around there. Be like,
yeah. I don't have any hero friends, unfortunately.
Okay. Are you in the Discord?
I am. I am. Yeah. Also in the hero guild.
Yeah.
In Snow Willie's guild.
Oh, that's a hero guild. I see.
Well, there are a lot of heroes. I think there are like 14.
Like the refugee. The hero safe space.
Exactly.
I see. Oh, there should be some people that you can check with, right? They don't have to be close personal friends. They'll probably be willing to at least share some information, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's well, I mean, a huge jump, of course, would be something crazy like an Ozring, right? That would make an insane jump in a BA.
That I have not started.
Yeah. Well, yeah, same kind of.
It's a lot of.
I did a little bit, but.
Yeah, between that and missile farming, I think I'll stick to missile farming.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So short-term goals here, you have like full 20 CRA, Superior Galax, and then the accessories. I think that's pretty normal. Transition to the weapon, you need to get the drop, right? So normal Lucid, normal Will. How far have you gone with practicing those?
Normal Lucid, I can clear it. Normal Will, I haven't tried, but I think I should be able to solo it.
Yeah, they changed the ball dropping in phase 2 now, right? So that should become a lot more doable. Plus, you always, as long as you don't totally fuck up, you pretty much always have your iframe up to make sure that you don't die to the screen crack in phase 1, as long as you know the timers if you're in the other dimension. So.
Yeah, for P1 when you solo it. Do people just iframe so they don't care about when the eye appears, like where the dimension, in which dimension it appears?
Pretty much. Like you have to know the timing, and then if you see like 1 second, 2 seconds behind, you still don't see it, then you just pop your iframe and you should be fine.
Okay.
Because then you have like a window of 3 seconds, and if you still see the eye appear, then you were already in the right dimension, so you're good.
Okay.
So barring barring like insane
that,
delays.
And what about the ball that drops?
Yeah, so if you're soloing now, it drops in the same dimension as you are, so that becomes a whole lot easier. Okay. Yeah, you just hit it, loot one ball, stop hitting, and then you're good. But yeah, otherwise, even if you have cooldown reduction on your hat, you should be able to like iframe again on that as well if it doesn't work out. But there you kind of have to 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, like you have to look at the timer to know how long the test is and to time it properly.
Yeah.
But that would still be possible again as a hero because you're cool, short iframe. Cooldown. Yeah.
Short cooldown.
So as long as you have that as a backup, you basically make sure you don't use it for damage, just to have it more as a safety tool. Of course, for most other runs, like in Lucid, if you die, it's whatever. You have 10 lives, so you can just face tank a few things and die like 5 or 6 times. It's whatever. You're not really gonna run out of time. But for of course for Will, you can run out of time if you do that too much. So it's gotta be pretty important.
Yeah.
And for phase 2, you have all the control over when you start the test, so that's going to be important to make sure that you're at least 2 minutes in between, right? So you don't get a web. But again, if you do get a web, you can always iframe dash through it. You should be fine.
So for the test to start is when you clear the first bar. That's when it starts.
For phase 2, yeah. Phase 2 just uses the first test starter as a 2-minute starting point, and then it re-triggers every 2 minutes past the first trigger point.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So the important thing there is that you only have, well, you're probably only going to have like 2, max 3 healing familiars, right? So you have to be a bit more careful with your positioning, and probably use Cry Valhalla and Impenetrable Skin at good positions so you don't get knocked all over the place.
Yeah.
That's going to be the main
now
important
I've been
thing.
starting to use Impenetrable Shield
Mm-hmm.
the skin lately.
Yeah, now you finally have the room for it, right?
Yeah, well, that too.
In your matrix, yeah.
Yeah, because I guess like I really enjoyed soloing, you know, up to like Lomian, and then you start doing parties.
Yep.
And then as you like stat increase, everything becomes easier when you solo.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like slowly getting back to soloing bosses.
Yep. Yeah, it's getting
So
the
now,
drops
like,
from the harder bosses and also the passive change, but just in general getting stronger. That does allow you to solo up quite a lot of things. So that kind of means that it probably would have been possible as well to stay solo, but it would have just taken you way longer. Is usually what that means. The other thing that could also, if you do need like a panic knockback resistance, Blink also does that. If you like jump and then blink, then you're also knockdown resistant for a little bit.
Yeah, it's I've been doing that in Lotus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, someone asked earlier actually about Lotus, about like always getting knocked off the platforms and stuff. Explain to them about like stutter stepping, right? Just stepping out of the range of the attack and then back into it to make sure you don't get pushed. For Lotus, that's very doable. Of course, that's more doable for normal than for hard, because for hard there's just too much shit going on. You've probably gone into hard Lotus before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely more easier said than done for hard, because just the whole map is just stuff dropping on you, so you have to be way more careful with your positioning there.
Yeah, but with H Lotus, I get to P3, but I die out within like 20% HP.
Yeah, it's a lot of HP on P3, right? Like 1 and 2 is kind of a joke.
Yeah.
And then 3 is so much HP.
Yeah. I think it would take probably like 6 to 7 bursts. On my current BA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Which at 4-minute cooldown is it's hard to fit in the timer.
Well, I tried to...
Yeah, with guild skills and everything?
Yeah, with the bind. Especially with the bind. Like my bind is at 7 minutes. Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That makes it even more rough.
So.
You can kind of cheese it by using one of your knockdown resistance skills, right? And basically kind of use that as and try to use an instinctual combo always right after a purple ball, so it doesn't do that again for a little bit. So you can make sure you use your entire instinctual combo. That's going to be important.
So it's better to burst right after the purple ball.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because the only thing he'll possibly do is just teleport around the map. That's it. And as long as you stay relatively still, that means that he doesn't go all around the map, right? He just like moves a little bit. But as long as you use knockdown resistant during that and then pop your instinctual combo, then at least you can make sure that he doesn't go into purple, because that just ruins like 40% of your burst basically, because he's just completely untargetable. Okay. If you're gonna need that many bursts, right? That's gonna be that's gonna be important. You need to solidify that damage, because if you can't properly solidify that damage, then you have no chance of killing him within the timer.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, and combined with the knockdown resistance, so you don't get pushed into things or stuck.
Yeah.
And rely on your dash a lot, especially if there's that green mist thing, right, where you can't jump. Then you still have your dash that you can use, your rush. To just rush around them, and don't stand too close, because the touch damage does add up quite a bit. But you probably noticed that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you have to pay more attention to how I die.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's too many trucks that
Yeah, they changed the hitbox, right? I'm killing it quite quickly now, and I play quite careful. But it doesn't hit like way below where you usually would stand.
Yeah, it's pretty much whatever the truck is, that's your...
Nice. Good fix 5 years in, that they actually make the hitbox the size of the visual representation of the skill. That's quite cool. Better late than never, I guess. Yeah, because you don't want the purple ball phase is the most annoying one, just because you can't get hit, and because it puts more AoEs on the ground on top of all the stuff that's already falling, so...
Yeah.
The last thing you want is to add frustration to, and he's eating all of my damage potential right now. I guess that just makes you triggered, and if you get triggered, then you make mistakes. So you want to make that to be the stage where you're already kind of like off burst anyway, so your DPS is lower, DPM is lower, so yeah.
Right.
Okay, and then Hardamian is gonna be after that. You just need so much damage for Hardamian. Like, people are automatically saying that to my hero, like, oh, you definitely could do hard damage. So I was like, I really can't. Okay, I'll try, guys. I'll just show you. It's like not even remotely close to like having enough damage to it. I think I got into phase 2 and there was like 6 minutes left or something. It's like, there's no way. Because now the blue balls are going to come in and you can't do any damage. Like, there's no, it's just not happening.
Yeah. So then in terms of boss solo progression after, so now it's like solo and Lucid and Will. After, let's say, H Lotus, what will be next?
It might be Hardamian or maybe normal Gloom.
Okay.
I would have to look up their HPs, but the thing, Gloom is also like closed, but once you start figuring out like dashing around the orbs and everything, anyway, they both have these limitations on when you can hit them.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying, yeah. But then Gloom has Darkness extra, but then Damien has like the blue balls in phase 2 extra, which is very annoying. But I feel like Gloom is easier to figure out, but it might be more HP. I would have to like look at the details to see how much HP it is, but I think they're like around the same point for soloing.
Okay. And is it worth to craft those abnormal status resistance potions?
I've
Is
never.
that a thing?
Yeah, there are those. You get them from drops from bosses sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So I've never crafted them. I looked at like the prep for Black Mage and stuff, and for Black Mage, I just want you to get as much damage in as possible with those potions instead, because they like they take up a slot of like one of the big damaging potions instead.
Okay.
So I think they advise to do those. So that's not to say that they can't have a place there though, but I would have to look into that more. I don't know specifically.
Okay, whatever.
You definitely want to use your once you get to these bosses, like specifically like Tenebris and up, is you definitely want to use more your will skill and your so like the hero's will and the Urda's will later as well. So you can either immune some status immunity like right before you get hit, to like just prevent getting messed up by that. So specifically if you're doing Gloom, for example, you can pop that skill and then like stand still and burst for a little bit, and then if you get hit by those flying balls that would seal you or blind you or something like that, then you know they'll just do damage, but they won't do anything else. They won't do the status effect for at least a little bit, so you don't have to worry about it. So for hero, that might not be as important, but like for me as an arc, it's very important because I'm stuck for 3 seconds in the same position doing a lot of my damage. And if I get CC during that, either my skill will just 100% start missing, and then I lose all of that damage. So that's really painful. So for me, that's really important to pop that right before I start bursting. I'm still trying to get the hang of that, but like later for Black Mage and stuff, that can be very important as well. Not as much for Varicella, because for Varicella, you actually kind of want to get stunned by the thread, so you know that you got hit. Otherwise, you just keep moving and you don't notice you're getting stunned, and then you're taking a stack every time, and that's how sometimes people just end up dying out because they don't realize that they're getting hit. Like Kana's Foxfire does that for them kind of automatically, and that can sometimes mess them up.
Okay.
Because you're kind of like missing the indicator. But there's definitely more utility, way more utility, I would say, in those skills than you would have. Because you don't really need them up to that point. They're kind of just whatever. Yeah.
I have no space on the keybind for that.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the other one. Is
readily available.
Yeah, exactly. That was my main problem going into Black Mage as well. Is like, where do I put these keys, and how do I put them at a point where I can have ready access to them as well? It's tricky.
Okay.
And then you're planning 19 arcanes for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like that's, I put this as a what I think would work in terms of progression of my gear. Not sure how feasible it is. Like for example, right now I'm kind of in between doing CRA to 20 or superior set to 21st because I'm still using the reinforce set. I think 17 or 18.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to break. I want to like just swap everything.
Yeah, you do want to do that, yeah.
So.
Okay.
But then the fodder sometimes it just takes so much time.
Mm-hmm. So
I got the pendant down, so that's something.
That's big for sure, yeah. With a good flame too, okay. Wait, so you have 18, you're using full 18 reinforced now, and then a second pendant is superior?
Yeah. I also have the transposed sweet water at 17.
Right, okay.
Those are drop gear.
Yep. Yeah, so the reinforced ring is going to stay, of course. Yeah, you do want to move all of that in one go, which does mean it's more of a... I think that means it's more of a later project. But for IED and for boss damage, you're fine, right?
Yeah, I pretty much have everything that I can get. It's in, I think in stats.
35. Yep. Let's get this. Yeah, IED's more than fine. And is this with any bossing familiars?
No familiars.
Boss damage sources. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that would be the main thing, right? To get more boss damage on. But other than that, because I would say boss damage looks a little bit on the lower side, but that's mainly just because of the familiars. Like I would expect it to be closer to like 250 to 260, but like one familiar and you're there already.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't know. I guess. Not sure. I think it is on the lower side, but I don't know how much more and what's the benefit of, let's say, a 20% or getting like 60%.
Yeah, like the exact number I can't tell you. Like this is going to be 1.3% final damage or something. I can't tell you that. If you want to know like specifically, you have to throw all of your stats into a giant calculator, and it'll just tell you like adding this much will mean final damage up by this number.
Right.
Or like this much stat equals this much boss damage, or this much damage equals this much percentage attack. Right? Like it'll just be able to calculate all of those things for you.
Okay.
If you want to do
so
that.
In terms of like, let's say IED, I think right now I'm pretty good at like 94 visual.
Yeah, that's. I mean, and Hero does get that 50% in your fourth job, right? So that's a huge. That's a huge buff. And you, I guess you don't get that much extra functional IED, right? It's mainly just the boost nodes and the Explorer Mage if you have it. Is there any extra
pretty
IED?
Much anything I can get in the game, it's there. So it's mainly the extra will be from familiars.
Okay. Yeah, because I think I would prioritize, and somebody linked to me. I don't think it was you, but there's like someone who went through like all of the costs of all the upgrading and kind of like generally prioritized like all of the costs of everything. I think if your IED and your boss damage is like as okay as everything I can see here, and there's even room for improvement on the familiars, right? Because you can definitely trade in some IED for boss damage without really any kind of loss. That's definitely going to be an increase in your damage because your IED is definitely just fine where it is. I would prioritize, like out of these sessions of upgrades, I would put the even like 21 starring your CRA as probably the number one to go for now.
Okay.
And then like 20 starring accessories in general would probably be like what comes after that. And then
accessories, I think other than, so it'd be the cornering, but then
cornering and the superior stuff, right?
Yeah. But then they kind of go hand in hand because they all use the same. I think I have 4 Meister ring for backup to get the superior ring to 21. If not, I have to use the cornering as fodder too.
Yeah. You have one of those, yeah. And but your current Kana ring is 21, right?
17.
Oh, 17. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what it equips. Okay.
Okay, so 21 CRA first.
Yeah, because the amount of backups you have plus the just lower risk, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, and then when it comes to the Kana treasuring, I don't know if you want to dedicate Kana treasurings as fodder for Superior before you have a Kana treasuring already at 21.
Yeah, I won't. I probably won't.
Because you have the Meister already, right?
Yeah, the Meister is 21.
Yeah, that one's...
And I have 4 spares.
Yeah, you have 4 spares.
That's crafted. And then I think I have 8 of the little stones.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just gave up on the Meister rank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not too bad to get back as long as you're actively playing. Like, you have enough materials to get it back pretty quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm kind of like slowly phasing out of all the daily stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'll probably have less time on a daily basis to play.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of want to just stop doing anything that I have to come back every day.
Yeah. Let me look through the resources and the routine stuff so we make sure that we have that straight. 2-3 hours a week, 4-hour weekend, 8 to 5 hours. Dude, when you write it out like that, it's like I'm actually doing like a decent part-time job extra on this, right?
Yeah, it is a part-time job when you think of it.
Mesos standard 4, depending on how much you farm. And you put the Ursus and Maple Tour as an optional because you don't always have the will or the time to do that.
Yeah. Sometimes I just forget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the schedule doesn't align, or 2x is already over, and you're like, fuck it.
Yeah, like it happens to me at 8 p.m. So I would say I would do it like maybe like 5 times at least.
Yeah. Okay. Familiars. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's like how many cards you get? Points. So that's including...
Yeah, so like the rare one is 1 point, and then the blue one is 2 points.
Right. But you're still like actively ranking up to epic and uniques, right? To try to reveal.
Yeah, exactly. So I would just whatever I get on my Kana, I would ship it to my hero.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Fingers crossed for that boss damage still.
I mean, I got 2 boss on Kana, but I haven't got that anymore.
Transfer, please. 6, yeah. Oh yeah, don't always do it. I see that. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, well yeah. If you're doing like extra farming outside of the main, then it makes sense that the main isn't leveling as quickly, but you're still losing the totems, right?
Yeah. I think honestly, I've never used all 15 totems in a month.
Oh yeah, neither have I. Don't worry. No judgment here.
I think on a weekly, let's say for the past 3 weeks, I would do maybe 2 totems. Like per week, let's say 2 totems on my hero, and then 4 WAP sessions on my Kana.
Yeah, that's more grinding than I do.
Yeah. Yeah, well, still got some time now. So I was just like, why not?
Magnus, Pap Queen, Vellum, Alchemy, Meister. Oh, Alchemy Meister, yeah, okay. So you're trying to... is that for the potions?
For which one?
Alchemy Meister, is that to craft like the boss rush stuff, or...?
I thought I needed it to craft... Actually, I still don't... Actually, I don't know why I maintain it. I think it's just the hardest one to get back. So that's why I maintain it.
Because I think the main value is if you want to craft boss rush potions, which I think it's okay to craft those for like a while until you have like a giant pack and then just let it go. The other main value that I can see is like you can craft bags and stuff, but those in all likelihood...
I got the bags.
Yeah, and those in all likelihood are going to come to NPCs as well, like pretty big bags that you can just buy from Mezzo after the current update. So, yeah, unless I'm missing anything obvious.
Can you use the EXP enhancer and the drop enhancer at the same time without being Meister?
Yeah, you don't have to be Meister, you just have to be Alchemist.
So that's what, level 10?
Yeah, or just level 1. Just have alchemy learned.
Oh,
it's mainly a requirement and it's like a limitation on non-reboot. So because they have to like specifically pick to be an alchemist and they can only learn one of those strong professions, right? They can learn like both the harvesting ones and then just have to pick one of the 3 between accessory and smith and between alchemist. But as long as you're any alchemist, you can use 2 of the big ones at the same time.
All right, I'm gonna stop doing that.
Yeah, because unless I'm overlooking something, make sure you double check. But if there's nothing else that you can see that there's value in that, then you can drop that one, I would say.
Yeah.
So what I'm maintaining now is smithing because, and I say that, but I should probably double check if I have crafted.
For the crit damage.
For the crit skill, yeah. And I could see you maintaining the accessory crafting if you want, if you need to craft more rings, right? But for alchemy, yeah, I did alchemy for a while. Crafted a bunch of boss rush potions. Maybe if you're still there, maybe you can make some of those, right, for later if you start bossing. But then, so like the regular boss rush potion requiring the Hyosop flower oils and Twisted Times and Dusk essences.
Yeah, I have 40 advanced boss.
Yeah, and then advanced, yeah.
For now.
Yeah, if you have more resources and you're Meister now, you might as well just check and make some, right? But yeah, I guess immediately I don't see like the super value there.
Perfect.
Let me just make one so it doesn't deteriorate too far. Oh yeah, I made some extra last time so it wouldn't immediately deteriorate past the point, right? If you stop at 0 and it goes 1 point below, and then you make something that gives you like 5,000 mastery, it just gives you that 1 point back. And then you're still back at 0, so it's good to have a little bit of a buffer in the... Yeah. What skill does Meister Alchemy get you? Smithing and accessory crafting have a skill. Alchemy does not have a skill. If Alchemy had some crazy good skill, then that could be a good value, but there isn't one, so... So rip. Daily, weekly, Solar Buzz before Normal Lotus and Damien. Wait, before Normal Lotus and Damien? Or... Oh yeah, because you're doing Party Hard Lotus and Damien, right? Are you still doing that in the party? Yeah.
Yeah, but now I'm just gonna do... Yeah, now it should just be the same thing as my Kana.
Right, okay.
So which is solo and below. The thing below.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, if the drop rates for the Berserk and the eye patch actually like existed, then I think Party Lotus and Damien for the hard versions makes way more sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, you just like 1 in a bajillion chances. Like, I'd rather do way faster runs, get more mezzo from the crystal, and just be able to do it whenever, and not have to have a weekly party for this. It just it's just impractical.
Yeah, because I'm like, I guess I'm also transitioning to doing more solo stuff that requires less commitment, because I don't want to say, yeah, I'll be there and then I'm not.
Yeah, and if you're really strong, you can just do a duo for Hard Lotus and Hard Damien, and you just... Because that's what I do now, like I just duo with Akana, and we're both really strong, and it's fast runs, and we just be like, throughout the week, like, hey, I have a little bit of time, you want to run? Yeah, sure, and then we just do it really quickly. Especially now also because the link skills are more transferable, right? You could just always quickly transfer your links over, you always have them available. Even if it costs you some extra mezzo, at least it's done for the week, and then, you know, you can cry for a little bit about not getting a drop, and then try again next week, basically. Because then the crystal value is also relatively close. It's actually, I think, if you're doing a little bit higher than if you solo the normal one still. So and especially with gazing at the future, right, where we get the new crystal values, and then they're mostly going to be adjusted downwards for all the bosses that are going to be done a lot. Very likely that Hard Lotus and Hard Damien are not going to be cleared enough to be adjusted downwards, but probably upwards. So that will add more value to doing those bosses. Which, of course, will spur on more people to do it, and then that might bring the value back down or something, but we'll have to wait and see. I think they're still of a difficulty level that is high enough that not everyone can just walk in and just do them real quickly, because they just have so much HP.
Yeah.
But that'll be something that we see after version 229 and after the crystal value thing gets rolled out, and implemented, then we'll see how that rolls exactly. Monster Park, yeah. So only on Sunday in general?
On my hero, yes.
Yeah.
Because I got the badge.
You have the 7-day, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And the oh, you mean the medal, right? I always mess them up too.
Yeah, the medal. Yes,
yeah, because there's also a badge, but some people get the badge and the medal. But I think you have potential badge, right? Or did you not say that?
No, I don't have the. No, I don't have a potable badge.
Oh, okay, okay.
I have the normal.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Then like, technically, end game would be to get the.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's right here. Yeah. Technically, end game would be to get the Monster Parker badge as well, because then the badge and the medal together have the set bonus for even more IED. But yeah, that's also coming in a shop, but they're going to be ridiculously expensive. I think it's going to be like 15 bill per day badge or something. So either you buy one and then always do your weeklies on that one day, so you can get the 10 IED from the badge, but the idea would be to get both, so you can have the weekly set bonus for another 10% IED, but yeah, then you have to buy all 7, which is like, it was 15, I think, right? So that's like 105 bill for that. I don't know, that seems a bit steep. Or it might even, was it 25? I don't know, it was ridiculously a lot of money. It's like, we want to make Reboot have access to this too, so we're gonna say that, put them up for sale, and then they put some ridiculous price on it. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be, once everything's done, I'll buy that badge.
Yeah, yeah, literally everything would have to be done. Like 21 arcane done situation before, which is what, 10 bill? It was a lot. I think it was more than 10 bill. You'd have to check the patch notes on it. We went over it on Orange Mushroom. It might have even been 20. I don't even remember. I just remember it was ridiculously high. We were kind of theory crafting because you could NPC them for a decent value, and we were like, maybe afterwards you still have them when you get the weekly, and then maybe you can NPC them back to recoup some of the cost. But apparently when you make the weekly, it just consumes them all. So it's like, okay, well, never mind. Oh, here, yeah, they're 50 bill. Okay, I remember, yeah. So 50 bill, and you have to buy all 7, so that's 105 bill. And then if you don't trade them in and you find one, you can resell them for 3 bill though. So if you do end up getting one on a character you don't like, you can get a decent amount of money for it, which is pretty cool, because I think I have 3 of them over my account, so that could be 9 bill mezzo. But that's 3 of them after having opened, I think, somewhere around 7,000 boxes. So the rate of getting them is just abysmal. So that that's allowed to be worth something, I think. Oh, so you do Gullux on Akana as well? Okay.
Yeah.
And then you do Arcane River Daily, so you're actually getting some EXP there now?
Yes. I actually did not know that I did not get EXPs from dailies. But I didn't really care. It was just gonna do it for the symbol, so...
Yeah. I mean, at 249, it's not as noticeable, but it's more like in the lower levels, right? Where you're like 225, 230, you can definitely notice that it's helping you keep up the speed. And you have the Monster Park runs at 240 now, the arcane ones with a decent chunk of EXP. So if you're like pretty strong for your level, then it definitely notices. Maple Tour, daily bosses, solo. So when you mentioned daily bosses, is it like all of the ones with crystals, like around 7 to 8 mil?
Yeah. So pretty much to fill like 60 crystal a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you feel like that doesn't take up too much of your time?
I think if I had to like drop stuff, it would definitely be like daily bosses. Even the arcane dailies, I could drop it because I do have enough arcane power to sustain at least the next 10 levels to 260. So, yeah, it's more like if I feel like doing the bosses then.
For sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel I'm not saying that's what's happening here, but just as a comment, I guess, that people kind of take as a baseline, like, I have to finish my 60 crystals or get as close to that as possible. But in doing
Oh
that,
no, I don't do that.
yeah, okay, yeah. In doing that, because that would be max efficiency, right? 60 out of 60. But in doing that, they're kind of like taking away time from doing other things that would be more efficient to make money, and as a result, kind of losing efficiency there. But yeah, as long as you're aware of that, then that's totally fine.
Yeah, I think when I do the daily bosses, it would pretty much do the 4. Like I would at least do the 4 that gives the SS tier maximum, and then the one that would have higher missiles, so like CPAP.
Right.
Yeah, I think CPAP, ping beam.
Yep.
But yeah.
And a catchy and everything.
I just find it. Yeah, Wait, what? You can do a catchy daily?
No, yeah. Sorry, I was already looking at the weekly stuff. Yeah. But yeah, that's weekly. Yeah. That's possible. Okay, and weekly. So you're mainly doing all the thread stuff on the Kana?
I do on both.
Okay. Oh yeah, you have TFF minutes. Yeah, because it's like random which character gets the good ask now, right? Yeah. But once you have the friendship built up, it's a little bit of work to maintain, but it's definitely way more work to have to restart all the time.
Yeah, I think I just got them back to 100.
Yeah, because it was bugged for a bit, and then they just axed them all by 40 or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably must have been some work to bring that back up. But I mean, it's to great value. Being able to always have WAPs and EOPs up is a huge enhancer of your rate. So it is. You're doing it for a good cause, I guess.
Yeah, it's okay. Like I think I can commit once a week to maintain these.
And then Ark as a side character is coming up. Would there be like a bossing mule?
Yes and no. It's I had a moment maybe like last year where I really enjoyed Ark. And then
a weak moment of weakness.
Well, I just it was just really fun and very different from all the other characters I was playing. And then, but I don't think it's gonna go past CRA. At this stage, I can still clear 3 doors, and then I guess I have to practice for Vellum.
Right.
But I think, all in all, it's like if I really have nothing to do left, then I'm gonna spend some time on that character.
So you upgraded. Wait, the clean stats is the old picture, no?
No, the clean stat is basically without the buffs.
But it's 5k stat lower and you're in different guild.
Oh, yes. My bad.
Unless you're time traveling.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that the range is a huge difference, buffed versus unbuffed.
Yeah, I forgot to update that picture, the clean one.
Yeah, I found it. We found it, chat. No, just kidding. I appreciate all the work you already did to update most of the stuff to the current situation. That's already going above and beyond. I just wanted to be facetious there, okay? No, because I noticed that you were in different guilds. I was like, huh? But then I guess there had to be more time in between the pictures. Do you think it's weird that when you're looking at your full stats, that there's room there for your fame but not for your level?
Wait, what? There's what?
Your level isn't mentioned anywhere in your stat window, but your fame is.
Yeah.
I always found that interesting.
I got like 10 fames within like 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're popular. Did you AFK on a chair in the door to Zakum or?
No.
That works though. If you want fame, that's the way to go.
Yeah. My girlfriend is doing that.
Oh, okay. So she's getting all the glamour.
Yeah, she wants 1,000 fame.
Okay, well, yeah, that's the way to do it. Just sit on that chair. You will get it, actually. I think it's easy to get like 20 or so a day.
Yeah. Sometimes
I see someone in 250 chair, just sit next to them in my 275 chair, steal all their fame.
That's a low blow.
It's a little toxic, but hate the game, not the player, Okay, you have all your sources here. So the main thing, I guess, is the familiars at this point, right? And then the switch into the full superior set. That seems to be the main switches to go. Familiar 16. Good. Spears. Yeah, but I definitely see CRA as like the first big move to make.
And should I stop at 20, 21? Should I go like one at a time, or like?
I usually let that depend on how much money you have at the moment that you make the upgrades. So like if you have the funds and you're like, you know, let's say that next time it comes around you're sitting on like 60 bill or something. I don't think it really matters if you go one at a time or 1 star at a time. Unless you're getting like ridiculously lucky and you're dropping like below 10 bill or something and you still haven't gotten one up, then I would just go 1 star at a time to make sure that you can guarantee some upgrade before all your money is gone, basically. But otherwise, I think it's fine to just go 1 item at a time up to 21.
Okay, and 21 is a good stopping point instead of 22.
Yeah, because I think eventually you do want to get to 22, especially on CRA. It makes sense, but I would do that after you get all your accessories to 20, because that same amount of money will just see better results. It's just too risky 21 to 22. If that's something that you just care about more and you want items to just be done, then I can see that. But the thing with CRA is you keep doing those bosses, you keep getting more backups. So it's not like once you get to 22, you get to like drop a daily and save time or something, right? So
yeah, exactly.
So for like the Sweetwater stuff, I can kind of see that when people are like, I just want to get that to 22 so I can stop doing the Commercy voyages. I kind of see that because then you could just drop that whole content. But again, that would be after you get CRA to 22 and like all of the Golic stuff to 21 probably, and yeah, probably before, depending on what you want to do. Like I got my Arcane stuff to 21 before I even did the Commercy stuff to 22. Because I just don't. Yeah, I avoid 22. I risked it on my CRA because so many backups, right? I risked it on my belt because I also had so many backups, and then I wanted to make sure that I got it to 22 so I could get rid of some superior belts because of the olden days, right? When you can get way more superior belts to drop and everything. And I did it on the Meister rings because there was a no boom event plus a Star Force event at the same time. And I was like, I'm just going to send now. So I did like 2 22 Meisters, and then 1 transferred into 21 Superior, and the other one I kept. But that's... Oh, and I made a Superior pendant to 22 because I had 2 21. So I was like, I'm going to just try one. And if it blows up, I'll use the other one. Because I had 2 21 Superiors, right, from way back in the day. And then we replaced one with a transposed Sweetwater. So then I had 2, so I was like, I'm going to risk one. And it ended up working. But those are the only 22s that I have. All the other stuff is just still neatly sitting at 21, and I think you're fine just if you put everything at 21, and like there's a few, and CRA is 22 because that's just so much less risk than everyone. I think you could do every piece of content in the game, and I see it more. Yeah, and I prefer spending that money that I save, not going to 22 and not being like the strongest person in the game, whatever. Spending that money on another character and getting that character to do more content rather than you're needing to min-max so hard on my main character. But that's totally like a personal decision.
Yeah, I don't feel like I need to min-max. I think there's a lot of just allocating your time wisely. Yeah.
And maybe another character pops up by then that you actually do enjoy more than the arc. You know, maybe it's not just momentarily, but you do want to play more of it. And maybe the hero at that time is just progressing so slowly that you're like, okay, this is not feeling worth my time anymore because, you know, you're throwing throwing like 2 totems at it to get like 5%. Like this isn't like my scene anymore. Then maybe another character will feel more rewarding to play for the same amount of time. And then, yeah.
Okay, so CRA first, and then the superior set.
Yeah, then I would do superior, and then I would, and that includes the rings, kind of, right? So that would be like probably like a Meister into the superior, right? And then
exactly.
And then a Kana ring would be after that, and then I think it would just depend on what comes first. If you get the weapon, then you do the weapon, and if you don't get the weapon, then you do the Sweetwater stuff.
Yeah.
And then I probably would work on like trying the 3 lines / 2.5 line. And then I would do the flames. And then I would do the arcanes to 19. So that's how...
I think the flames are... Okay.
Yeah.
Arcanes to 19 at the end. Okay.
Yeah, I will move that one back a bit, because even though it is low chance of boom, if you boom, that sets you back like a whole bunch. And we probably want to wait until we get the shop, right? So that you can just always have enough.
The drop
exactly.
ones.
So you can always have like all the backups that you might need. So that's why I would move that one. I would move that one back a bit. That's a whole lot of stars on your CRA. I don't know if you can manage that. 2.2 million. 2.2 million stars is gonna be. I don't know if you have that many. I don't know if you have enough backups for that one.
No, my cornering probably is gonna be in the.
Yeah, and I'm moving the cornering back a little bit because you just need time to get backups, right? And then that gives you a bunch more weeks to play around. So if you don't have the cornerings in time, then you just do the sweet water first, right?
Yeah.
So whatever. You just let whatever you have backups for decide. If there's an event, you look at your backups, and then you prioritize at that point, basically.
Right.
That's why I'm putting the 3-line basically behind all of the star forcing, right? Except for the arcane, because by that point you're basically just all star forced out, and the next one, getting arcanes from 17 and 19, is such a big risk and such a huge money flow that it just makes sense to work on your potentials before that, I would say.
Yeah, because like right now, I think all the potentials that's not 3 lines are the ones that I need to sort of fodder.
Yeah. So it definitely needs to be behind all the stuff anyway. Yeah, and you can like work up to like 2-line first on that stuff, and then revisit it later, and then go full 3-line. And maybe 1 or 2 of the items will go like 2.5 to 3-line in the process of just getting 2-line, right? Maybe you hit some 24s, you hit some 27s. That could definitely happen, right?
Yeah.
But then at least you have
so
some
far they're all
stuff.
2 lines.
Yeah.
At least the Golic stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense at this stage to have like 2-lined if you're still gonna fodder over. Yeah, you don't want to fodder over like big investments.
We didn't update the pants.
22 CRA, 22 CRA. I would probably move. Yeah, whether it's 3-line attack, you just mean 3-line useful on the WS, right? Because that could also have boss damage and still be good.
Yeah, I think it would mainly be. Well, the emblem is done, but.
Yeah, the long-term one. I would probably move that one before the 22-star Superior Golic set, because you probably might want longer for more coins and Golics and more backups. So I would move that one just behind the 22 CRA because it is that good. Oh, you move the Golics one.
What did I do? Oh, there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I remove the second 3-line attack. WS. Yeah, and then you can min-max your flames later, and they'll probably be just min-maxing flames on Arcane at that point to really try to get really juicy Arcane flames, but everything else will pretty much be set at that point.
Yeah, the flames, I think flame-wise, for Arcanes, I'm at 150.
Yeah. I saw them, they were really pretty good. They're like, some of them are better than mine, you know.
150, and then the CRA, I think they're close to 100. Maybe not. Yeah, flamed that this week. I was like,
yeah, that's really nice.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. I'm considering, because you have some question marks there. Does that mean you're not sure how far you should be going on them?
Exactly. Yeah, like I think they are okay.
Wow, that's a Xenon.
Now,
that's a Xenon flame on your head. Oh my god.
Yeah, the hat one, I guess.
Yeah, Xenon would kill for that. Yeah. Pants are not too bad either, but you went that all set there. Yeah. So that's why I broke out this one, right? The progression grid. Yeah. Because that also looks at like the flame scores that you probably want to be aiming for roughly during all the stages. So this could be like a good way of looking at the numbers and looking at where you're at and looking at what number you're aiming for flame score.
Yeah.
I would just use this as a general guideline, and if you're near that, then you don't have to worry about the flame, and if you're Or if you're past that, you don't worry. And if you're near it, then you can consider upgrading. But this is basically taking into account, like, in a pretty efficient way, allocating your resources throughout your account, like throughout the sources of damage, basically. Yeah.
Right.
So I think some of the CRA pieces could probably use a little bit more help. Towards that.
Probably the pants and the top, the one that doesn't have all stat.
Yeah, pants in the top the most. The hat maybe can be like a little bit better as well, but that's definitely the latest out of the 3 for sure.
Yeah, I think in your calculator the hat is at 100. Something like that.
Yeah, it probably maybe a little bit above, because the further you go, the more all stat gets close to a 9 for value.
Right.
So the hat might be even a little bit over 100. So it might be close to that 105, right? 9, 54, 103, and then 4 from the hat. Yeah, so you could argue that's like a 102. That is like a 106-ish, so it's like right in there. So that one's like set for a little bit. And then the top is more like 318, like an 86, right? So that one's like almost 20 flame score lower, which at this point is considerable. Of course, if you, if you would be like 15 levels lower, then it'd be like everything is completely fine, nothing to worry about, right? But it's definitely a higher priority to work on the Star Force first, but then once all that stuff is done and you get to this, then it's like, okay, now the flames can definitely use some work. But maybe by then, with using your weekly boss flames and all that stuff, maybe you've already improved it a little bit. But at that point, all the other upgrades are just so expensive that you can just go to Henesis and just go to town and buy a whole bunch of flames.
Yeah.
Or a bunch of, maybe have an events shop with like 100 powerfuls in it or something, and you just go for those, because at that point, there's going to be very little other for you to buy, right? You don't have to buy symbols anymore, you don't have to buy nodes. Those are usually the biggest, or like event rings, those are usually the most expensive and the biggest gain items, so what's next for you? Well, probably like a bunch of flames, right?
So you would use red instead of the rainbows?
I would just use either, whatever you get. Like mass buying reds and using those in general has a better result than the Eternals, because the Eternals are about a 4-to-1 in value, right? Like one Eternal usually it gives you about the result of 4 powerfuls. But the thing is, the accessibility of powerfuls is way higher than 4-to-1 to Eternals, because you can you can basically buy infinite, so or like a finite amount. So at that point, it kind of just shifts. Like throwing 100 powerfuls at something is going to be better than like 5 Eternals, but it's statistically going to be about the same as 25 Eternals. But yeah, the access is the main thing there, the bottleneck for the access.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so these I'll probably work on, these 2 flames. Okay. What about the Pat mark, where the transposed sweet water monocle? I think it's close to 115 transposed.
I don't know. What was it before? Because that's usually the number that we go by, right?
I think 60. I think it was 65. 65 and 6.
We can math it out. You're getting 2 extra stats for 10 extra, right? So that means you get 2 for 10, so you get 4. So it was plus 75, so 11. So it was 64.
Okay.
64 and 6, yeah. So that's fine. Again, because you're transposing for the end game, I usually take 9 for all stats. A lot of people still use 8, but that's like more mid game. But you're not transposing for mid game, right? You're transposing for end game. So I feel like that value, because it scales with you, I feel like you need to take that value. So 64 plus 54, so that's like 100, 118. So I think that's totally fine. That's usually beyond where I tell people to aim for. So I say that's definitely endgame worthy. The only other upgrade you would make to this is if you can get an eye patch, and if it somehow gets to 21 or to 22, then you can, if it gets to 21, you can decide, like, is this big enough of an upgrade to switch over? Or am I going to sit on this until I maybe get other pieces and then consider maybe switching over, something like that? Because the set bonus is definitely good, right? This has no set bonus, and the other one has even at, is it a 2 or a 3 set, you already get 5% critical damage, which is decent, of course. But you need multiple pieces, so this is definitely a long term thing.
Okay, so it's good for that.
Definitely, yeah. And could be Star Force later, right? Like when we do the whole Sweetwater thing. Together with the pendant was down here, I think. Yeah. So this one was 60 and 5. Yeah, so that one's a little lower, but again, like 60 and 5, I think is like right within the boundaries of like good enough, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends on how much you struggle. Like if you spend 10 bill and this is the best you can do, sometimes you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna transpose. I could totally see that. I think I transposed at like 106 and 108 or something, so that's like 1 or 3 flame score better. So that's pretty. Yeah. At that point, I'm like, what is 1 flame score? You know?
Yeah, I think I hit 60 and 5 twice, and the second time I was like,
yeah,
all right, this is it.
Yeah, this is a sign. It's not getting any better than this. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's totally fine. Is it like super endgame? Again, no, because you could get the source of suffering maybe, right? And if the source of suffering goes high enough, then you would replace this one with it. And then you have another piece for your pitch boss set. But again, that's super long term as well. And then for source of suffering, you typically go high dominator, transpose in transfer hammer into superior, into high star force, like into tap again, into source of suffering. So like that's that's the road for that. So that also means keep, you know, all of your Gollux coins, and in the back of your head, that's a thing that you might need to use them for as well. Plus, so that means Gollux is never gone until you have a 21 or 22 source of suffering. If you want to go that far. And that dominators will always have use in your account, so hold on to those. Of course, if you're sitting on like 20 dominators, maybe get rid of some because your inventory will get clogged up and you probably won't need that many.
Right.
But that's up to you.
Okay.
People 22 superior pendants to SOS. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right? So you'll typically like 21 dom into superior, and then try to get superior from 20 to 22, and then transfer that into a 21 source of suffering. And then some people tap it at 21 on a source of suffering as well to try to get it to 22, or they sit on 21 depending on, you know, how crazy they are. I mean, how dedicated and how passionate and how competitive they are. Some booming will happen for sure. Yeah, I boomed one already at 21 superior to try to get to 22 to have it like prepped. Right, that was my goal with the other one. I tapped 1 to 22, and I was like, okay, I can wear that one. And then I try to get the other one to 22 as well to transfer into source of suffering when I get it, but that one boomed. So, you know, hindsight would have said keep the 21, transfer it at 20, and then maybe try 20 to 22 on the source. But yeah, you want to risk on the source of suffering as little as possible because again, the drop rate is just abysmal for that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess the flame for the cup is like somewhere in between there, but it's definitely not bad. Because you have 45.
Honestly, I just fuse whenever I get dupes, and I got this from fusing, and I never got anything better.
Yeah, if you fuse with fusing is with alchemy, right, guys? Or you can So if you're Meister Alchemist, that gives you better results on the fusing though. So that could be some value on why you would want to keep it.
Yeah. Nah, it's okay.
Yeah, mine is similar in lines, but like all of them are just a little better. Yeah, I'm at 48 and 6 and 6. So that's like enough, but yeah, I've flamed on cups so much and just nothing, you know, just hoping for that one like 84 and 3 or 84 and 4, you know, coming out of nowhere and being like, okay, finally, like this is so good. I don't have to worry about it ever again, but it was always like very small increments of like 2 flame score here, 3 here, 4 here, and it's like, never anything like super amazing out there. But yeah, so that's one that's easy to flame on the side though, right? You could very easily just get a second cup and then just flame that. If you get nothing, it's whatever. If you get a small upgrade, you just switch them out and then you flame the other one. It's obviously a little way harder to do with the other pieces.
Flame it. Okay.
Yeah, because with the other one it's harder, right? Because it'll always feel bad if you don't make an upgrade because then you're actively going down. But with the other one, with the cups, since there's no cubing and star forcing involved, you can just do it on the side and then there's no harm, no foul there.
True.
It's like working on a Princess No secondary when you have the other one, right? Like, so you don't upgrade, you don't switch.
Yeah, I do have two of the secondaries.
Yeah, I saw that. Was there a specific reason for that? Like one for mobbing, one for bossing, or?
Why do I have 2?
Yeah, that was my question. Just restate the question as you come up with a reason. Yeah.
I think I did it just because if I get like something like what I currently have, which is 40 boss and 18, then I'll just cube the other one until it's 3-line.
Yeah, because this one is like
attack.
pretty good hybrid for the both of them, and then if you get something juicy with the other one, then you can switch it, but you don't have to risk this one. Yeah, that makes sense. Totally, yeah. And in the grand scheme of things, like getting something to legendary is expensive in the beginning of the game, but at this stage of the game, you know, making a legendary is just like peanuts.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay, makes sense.
And then on the inner ability,
yeah,
like right now I'm sitting on attack speed +1 and 14% meso. And then I think I have 7 mil honors.
Yeah, it looks like you're at 7.2 now. Yeah.
I think this is. Oh, where is it? Did I even put it? Oh yeah, in the stats.
Yeah, stats. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is fine for like a while. You do want to keep that attack speed if you switch to the weapon, but for now, you could switch. So, but basically, I was in a very similar situation with my hero, except my hero is like 10 levels lower, and I don't have full arcane yet. You know, like equip wise, I'm definitely behind. But I just reached 40k stat as well, so like roughly in like a similar situation when it comes to like gearing and everything. And I basically had. Well, I had a worse ability, let's be honest. But I had attack speed +1 and then 2 epic lines that did something. And then when I was rolling...
oh yeah, I saw that video.
Yeah, so I ended up with...
Lucky.
I think I ended up with 10 I think I ended up with 10 crit, right? Yeah, and I decided to keep that, and then I rolled... what did I roll? Roll Meso Obtain up top?
I think didn't she have boss damage?
I wanted to get... Yeah, I wanted to get Meso Obtain, and then I rolled, was it 21 attack, and then boss damage up top? And it's like, okay, well, fuck. So that's really good for one-handed, for now. But eventually I do want to re-roll that, right? Because I'm also going for two-handed, because I got the two-handed axe to drop. So, you know, I think you could definitely make an argument in the short term to, like, keep the Meso Obtain, lock that, and because you have so much honor experience, right? If there's a 50% off, you just roll, you roll for the top, to try to re-roll to get like item drop on the top one or boss or something else, so that you can kind of capitalize on that in the short term, and then in the long term it would be circulate to try to get 20% crit, and then if you hit that, then you lock that and you re-roll the other ones, and then try to get boss top.
And then so get the second line first with circulators.
Yeah, second or third, wherever it comes out, because the rates for unique and epic lines on legendary are going to go up in a future update. So you still have to wait a little bit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's still coming. And that's going to be pretty substantial still. So I would definitely wait until after that update to go super hard on the ability. And right now, the attack speed +1 isn't doing anything for you, except that you could do without rebuffing the speed infusion, right? And still hit cap if you're still one-handed.
Yeah, actually remove it. I realized that lately, and then I took it out from my V matrix.
Yeah, so if you find that that's a substantial enough upgrade, then you can also just keep this current ability, and then, you know, just wait for that last change to come in, then a 5, 10, 15, sorry, not 5, 10, 15, sorry, 50% off ability. Then during the 50% off, roll circs to try to hit your 20 crit. If you hit 10 crit and you think it's enough, or you hit the 20 crit, then lock that in, and then use the event that day to get back, hopefully, your boss damage on the top line, right? If you... like if you get boss damage at the top line at that point, and you're still using your one-handed, or getting back the attack speed +1 if you think switching to the two-handed is soon, right? So that'll depend if you already have the weapon, or you think like, okay, I've waited long enough at this point, like I'll just make my weapon and then upgrade it, right? Depending on what stage you're in at that point.
I think I'm gonna wait it out.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how much of a aren't they boosting the final, like the damage multiplier on one-handed to kind of equalize the versus the two-handed?
I think they did that in the last patch, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So now, yeah, so basically they did that to make it closer again, because the change to the two-handed and the attack speed made the difference too significant again in benefit of the of the two-handed. So they did this again to correct it again. Now two-handed is still stronger, but it's a very, very small difference. To the point where people who are like liberated one-handed and have a 20-star shield that's like perfect potential, it's so close that you can very easily say, I'm just going to redo my invulnerability, get the boss damage there, and this is good enough for me, you know?
Yeah.
Was it one-handed sword? See if you can find it. Oh, is there like... what is it called? Multiplier? Weapon... Because I think they did implement the... Oh, here, yeah. The weapon constant for when hero and paladin use one-handed weapons will be increased from 1.3 to 1.34 and 1.2 to 1.24. So that wasn't
in the... so it's active right now. Okay.
Yeah, that's active right now, yeah. Part of the on-air, live, whatever you want to call it, patch, yeah. And that was, I think that was the last thing that they did to just bridge the gap, and now it's like... I don't know the exact number, but this is again something you ask like the super high level heroes and like maybe in the Discord, maybe in your guild, and be like, do you guys know the exact difference now of like final damage multiplier like between one-handed and two-handed? And I think that I'm pretty sure the difference is smaller than 1% between the two. I think, or it might be like 1.2 or like 0.4 to 0.8, something somewhere around there. I don't know why those are all multiples of 0.4, but that's just how my guesses end up being, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's going to be the main thing. Like having a bunch of honor EXP saved, that's important. And then just allocating however much money you are willing to spend on circulators on 50% off day. So that if you hit it, you can immediately reroll. If you don't hit it, you can, you know, be like, fuck this, and I'll try next event, basically.
Yeah, I've been doing 20 circs at every event.
Yeah, that'll probably go up to like doing like 10 or 20 bill in circs once you get to that point. Because then, again, you'll be so far in all the upgrades that all the other upgrades are going to cost so much that throwing like 10 bill at circs during a day like this doesn't feel like you're spending a lot of money. Because this is just upgrade-wise significantly, because that'll clean the room for like a whole extra link skill to be added, which is a significant damage increase versus maybe 1 star on one item or like 5 flame score on one item somewhere for running into billions, right?
Right.
So comparatively, then that upgrade will make sense.
Okay. And in terms of hyperstats, as a level, which one should I prioritize?
So this
should
is the
just go
bossing
like,
one, right?
One by one.
Right? Little bit. Yeah, this one's for bossing, so you get your 100 crit. It looks like you have 100 crit unbuffed though.
Oh wait, it's because I was using the grinding legion. I'm at 91 without.
Right. Oh, okay. So you switched the legion around for mobbing versus bossing. Right. Okay.
Yeah, because you got 91.
Okay. Oh.
91
okay.
without. Yeah.
And is that because do you also switch like the? Because I would think your legion, when you're mobbing, would have more...
40 crit.
Yeah, has more crit.
And then I have like...
Because you don't use the Beast Tamer link, right? So you would go lower in crit there.
Yeah, I do. Also, you can see it
yeah.
In the stats. If you just go back.
There's one picture covering it, though. I think that one got moved.
Yeah, you can delete it. Oh, you can. Right.
There's a legion there. There we go. Yeah. Okay, you're completely filling it. I see. Yeah, that's so you can use it for any other character in your mule as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not missing out on on anything if you're doing this on your hero, I guess. Maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weapon attack or something.
Yeah.
But that's it. Remember, if you're this is like a Superman maxi thing, but like because, and you can see this in the flame score, right? Like the earlier point, your weapon magic attack is worth about 4 stat, and then later it goes down to 3, like it scales down. So that means for your legion, if you can choose to use a block for 1 attack, or you can use it for 5 stat, then 5 stat is a better value than the attack, right?
Okay.
So
yeah, but right now I put
it's Superman maxi, but
I put all my extra in crit rate.
Yeah, for sure. But like when you're allocating the stats
yes.
in the middle, I mean, like you put the stat in the one that's the most full, and then the attack in the one that's the least full.
Right. But this is when I grind.
Yeah.
I don't need this.
Yeah, you don't need it. No. I know. But just to make sure, like,
right.
That basis is that information is there. Yeah, just checking. Yeah, so this gives you more than enough crit, so you don't have to worry about any of that. And then any other character, you just switch the stats in your gold. And yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, it's a huge legion, so you can be, you can throw stuff around. Yeah, if you ever play Explorer, if you play anything that needs buff duration and doesn't need crit rate, then you know you could do a third setup or something when you move things into buff duration. Could be really important. So, from what I know, like Kaiser, yeah, Explorer Mages, Kaiser, Demon Slayer. I think Xenons. There's a few others probably.
Kaiser is for what, the transformation?
Yeah, to make the transformation last longer. Yeah. And then Demon Slayer has a skill that gives you a bunch of extra damage that can really benefit from lasting longer. And then Xenons have a very important buff that gives final damage, and it's really tricky to keep that uptime at 100%. I think it's a bit easier now because of the latest changes, but it's very important to keep your damage up, otherwise you're just suffering a lot. And with the higher buff duration, that makes it easier to keep that cycle up.
Okay.
And there might be... Ooh, I think maybe Luminous as well? It's not the hyper skill for the DS. There is... Where my DS is at? What skill am I talking about that you need the buff duration for? Because I remember specifically when I hit buff duration, people were like, you should keep that because it's still useful. It's not the Blue Blood, I think, because Blue Blood is the hyper skill. Oh, Boundless Rage? Because I think Blue Blood is the hyper stat. That's the one that gives you double damage. Okay, maybe I'm probably mixing those up. You want to do Boundless Rage because Boundless Rage makes it so that you don't consume any Demon Fury when you're using skills. So you can use that for longer. So basically you don't have to worry about your DF management and everything. You could just spam all your attacks without worrying. Yeah, that's why, yeah. Especially early on where you're kind of like, you know, unfamiliar with how to use your skills properly to make sure you can manage your Demon Fury. Then having a longer Boundless Rage is very, very useful. I might be long enough to do some bosses on a bossing mule, because from what I heard, they're very solid bossing mules as well, if you're terror burning and stuff. But so yeah, so I don't know if you're really looking for making any bossing mules.
Yeah,
that sounds like a no.
Yeah.
Not right now. Not right now, at least.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Lara.
Yeah. It seems like they're going to be very bursty, so maybe if they're strong enough, you can like kill them in like 2 bursts and then kind of move on to the next one. They've got like one skill that does like an insane amount of lines. If you make sure you hit that one properly, then should be fast. And they get so much free stuff, so that it's basically a free 220. And then 220 is definitely a point where, as long as you have some boost nodes on there, it should be easy CRA.
Yeah, I have to see how much time I can allocate and how much resources.
Definitely.
I think if I want to make it an easy CRA, do I need to go past like epic potential and then more than 12 stars?
I usually go past, like, go to legendary on WSE, and then the rest I just keep epic, and usually that's good enough.
Okay.
As long as they have like
I forgot,
maybe some ID familiars, and then have enough boost nodes, then you're totally good.
Okay.
People, hey, what up, Queenie Vax? Yeah, especially these days with like the bonus stats, and then with your giant legion backing that character up, it should have no issues.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of my legion.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, it's a lot of work, so you get to benefit from that hardcore now.
Yeah, I've been min-maxing the raid power.
I see. Yeah.
To get more coins.
Yep. You gotta pick them up though, because I see in this picture you were at 500, so. Make sure they don't
that might be the only thing I have to like come back to the game at least every.
Oh no, they go up to 700, right? At this?
Yeah, 700.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So we're in max,
every 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing that keeps you coming back as well. I think that's why they don't make like a huge pocket of Legion coins that you can build up to, because otherwise it would incentivize people to not log in as much. They want people to come back. Yeah. Too convenient.
I wish.
Yeah, I still do my Legion dailies. I mean, it's 30 coins a day, but that's like 900 a month, so that does add up. Sometimes I just go into the Legion and just scroll through the member bonuses just to see like all the stuff that's in there, just to be like, you know, that's what I worked for.
Right. No, it's your Legion. You have what, like 500 mil Legion raid power?
Yeah, I think
probably
I'm at
more.
5 Twitch Prime. I think I'm at I don't think I can check in here, right? Nah, I think I'm at 560 or something. Yeah. Yeah, it's basically just getting 12 stars on pretty much everything on all the items. That is something to think about. I would say you can do that once you feel like all of the upgrades on your hero are just like, let's say an event comes on your hero and there's nothing that you really can do when that event comes around, so there's nothing to really spend on, but you do have a decent amount of money, and there's one of those 1+1 events, that's just really good opportunity to get everything to 12 and all your mules.
Yeah, it's already almost done.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, the other main thing is just levels, right? I mean, yeah, if your second highest is 250 and the third one is 214, and that's where you can make the most gains, just getting more levels.
Sure.
So that would be like capitalizing on burns to get those 220s in. But your lowest is probably 200, right?
Yeah. I think that the 36 is 200.
And I guess maybe in the 36 to the 36 to 40, there might be some under 200 there.
Yeah, they are. But then they don't affect the raid power. Because they're not.
No, they're not on the board. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that'll just be for the Legion levels. Yeah. But then again, like going for like 8.5k is just so useless. I mean, like one extra character. I mean, I guess if you're trying to min-max your raid power, you can put an extra 200 on the board. That's like an extra, what is it, like 10 mil, 12 mil, depending on how well it's upgraded. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's 10. I think it's 10 mil.
Yeah, around.
Stars.
Yeah, around you. Okay, yeah. So I mean, I guess that's nice, right? That's like 1/40th, so that's like 2.5% increase for having one. But like to make that worth it to go for 8.5, I don't know. That's I'll never advise anyone to do that. That's quite a stretch. If you were at like 8,480 or something, I would say do that, but nah.
Right. I think it's pretty good as is.
For sure. Yeah, I think most people in chat would say that your Legion is pretty good. You know, nothing better than that, but just pretty good. Don't get to yeah. I'm not saying that most people in the chat would trade with you, but I would say pretty good, yeah. Pretty okay. Oh yeah, it's semi okay. Okay, stay positive, guys. Come on, 9k easy, just 225 times 40. Yeah, making a few 225s is not too bad. Making 40 anything is a lot. Anything I've noticed with like Project CRA. Like, one thing that you can set your mind to do is always very doable. Doing 40 of that is always a lot, no matter how little it is. Anything times 40 or times 50 is just, oof.
Well, I had to like keep a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
of all the progress, where they are, what I want to do, here properly.
Oh, that's a whole separate spreadsheet. We didn't get that one.
No, I have a Legion spreadsheet.
Right. It's a whole other monster.
Oh yeah, beast. So I guess one last question that I had would be for the V matrix.
Yes. Yeah, because we kind of skipped over that one.
It would be in terms of bossing node. So the one that you craft that expires.
Yes.
Which one is recommended?
I think it's, oh god, I always misspelled. I think it's Fatal Strikes.
Okay.
Like
so I was talking
damage.
with my friends before, but because we're comparing Fatal Strike and Boss Layer 3.
Okay.
And the Boss Layer 3 says increases boss damage by 50% for 10 seconds when 30 mobs are defeated. On paper, it looks very nice compared to the 100% damage increase for 2 seconds.
Well, anything that has mobs are defeated and boss together, I think on paper looks pretty bad, because how are you going to defeat monsters in a boss fight?
Yeah, exactly. That's
that's always so weird to me why they would do that. As far as I know, there's like a critical rate one that works better for archers, because they have to just hit a bunch, and most of them are hurricane classes, so they hit so many times that it triggers more and it lasts longer, and they end up with vicious shot getting more damage out of that during their burst.
Okay.
And then for everyone else, usually use Fatal Strike. Unless you're like Tenebris and higher and you want the survivability, then you can use the healing one. I forget the name, but it's like a full healing one, basically.
Okay. Auto recovery?
Auto recovery, yeah, there's a auto recovery and an auto recovery 2 that you can make. You want to make an auto recovery 2, because that one triggers every 30 seconds and the other one is every 40 seconds. But they cost the same amount, but they're both there just to bait you, I guess, into making the bad one. Yeah, I make that one for like Tenebris. If you want to do hard Tenebris and you want to do Black Mage, on that one is pretty much just definitely one that you want to make. And the other one that you would consider is the character building one that you already have for training. Those are yeah, as far as I know. There's one other one that some people use, and that's like one that has a chance to or every so often it reduces the cooldown of your skills. And some people use that.
Relentless attack.
Yeah, and then use it in combination with skill cooldown to get the 100% uptime on the Lucid Soul when they're farming on their Kanas.
Yeah.
Oh, that does bring up the point of your. Did you have cooldown reduction on your hat? Did I see that?
No.
No.
Now it's 3-line.
Because it's 27. Yeah.
I think it's 27.
I guess later in the game, if you're gonna like Black Cube to try to get something sexy in there, then you can always just go back to this if you don't get an upgrade. But I mean, I have like 1 line of all stat and 1 line of 2-second cooldown reduction. I like that a lot because for mobbing you just have World Reaver more, and have no trouble killing anything anyway. And then for bossing, it helps you trigger that final damage more and your iframe more. So I do like that quite a bit. But I wonder if it's worth to work on just 2-second cooldown, or if you want to go like 3-second cooldown or more stat, you know, once you switch over. So it's probably like a Black Cube thing situation. Kind of similar to the gloves.
Probably make a hat, just a second hat.
Yeah, some people do that as well. Yeah, if their main hat is like good enough, just get a secondary hat for the stuff. But
for sure, I think for mobbing, it's good to have lower cooldown.
Yep. Well, yeah, I like it for bossing for the flexibility, but I guess the 2 seconds maybe isn't enough to sacrifice the damage for it there. Might not be. Again, but that would be, I would say I put that on a list as well to ask like higher level heroes and who are doing more difficult content and check with them if they feel like that's necessary.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you have to ask? You have to ask about the BA, right? Like at what point can you roughly get to 10 trill?
Yeah.
And then the hat, and what was the other one?
It was like on the notes here. Like I haven't touched them in a while. And then so at least all the all the boost nodes are at 25, and then the main hero B skills are 25, but then the rest are kind of like below 10. So is there any priorities that I should look at?
So speed fusion is off because of your inability, and sharp eyes is on your glove, right?
Yeah.
Well, the next thing will be to min-max your burst. So we either get the Goddess Blessing in there.
Okay.
And I guess when you're mobbing, you switch in the Arachnid Reflection instead of the Bind, probably?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the spider can one-shot already.
Yeah, it's just, on bossing, it's just also really good because of the summon afterwards and the constant damage coming from the bossing. I've basically come to the point where I just don't use the rope lift at all anymore and just rely on my up jump more to have that extra slot available.
In all situations?
In all situations, yeah. So and then I use the Arachnid Reflection instead of that. I would do in this situation just to increase the damage more. And then once the Goddess Blessing is higher level, and then by that time you probably reach 255, so you can have the extra slot. Then slot that one in, and possibly at a high level slot as well. Oh wait, you have the Arachnid Reflection. Never mind. Sorry. I saw the level 1 on the bench, so I thought you didn't have it in, but you have a level 9 in already. But like the Goddess Blessing, I would put that in to increase your burst even more, because that's why you're strong, right, as a hero. So you want to make sure you can put even more damage in there during the burst.
Okay.
And I would even say, like, in this situation, I probably take out like that last boost node when you're bossing and throw something else in there that can be useful during bossing as well. So maybe Blink, maybe Impenetrable Skin instead of that one at this point.
Yeah. Is it worth to create like another boost node to boost like line and rush?
So yeah, what I have on my V matrix, where basically I have like all the boost nodes for all the classes. I kind of have like the second set of boost nodes for hero as optional because I still don't know how useful they are. But what I have in like the second one is puncture, and you said lion, so now I'm messed up. What's the actual name of the skill?
Shout.
Because it's like
Shout.
a tiger, right? A shout, yeah.
Yeah.
So rush, puncture, and shout in there because rush is like both your dash skill and that up jump and that slash down. Now you know the damage of the up jump is completely negligible. Nobody uses the slash down, so it's basically just for the rush skill as a filler. So if people want to replace that with the hookshot thing, if they actually use that, then I could see that working as well. But that would mean that you would have to, depending on what you want to do, that you would have to redo 2 of the boost nodes, right?
Yeah, my boost node is like kind of fucked up.
Yeah, so you'd have to get whatever third skill you want to do instead of either shout or puncture on your level 23 one, so that your level, your the one that starts with shout can get whatever one you replace there on that one. So you'd have to, well, you'd have to replace puncture basically, right? With either rush or what's the hookshot one called again?
It's called Combo Fury.
Combo Fury, yeah, that makes no sense with what it does, but okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what that name does. Get one of those instead of the puncture on the bottom left one, and then add combo puncture instead of the other one, probably instead of panic on the bottom right one, to kind of like even that out, so you can have all of the lines at least be useful. Because I don't think leveling up panic does really anything at all, right?
Well, because we debuff every 40 seconds. I thought panic would be more useful.
Then
like I thought if I had to like redo it, I would the level 23 I would remove the combo fury and then replace it with rush instead. So at least I have 30 rush, because the combo fury is only useful in lucid.
Yeah, I don't even use it ever. Use it on the golems to just like snap back if you're falling or something.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not like does nothing damage wise.
That's true.
So I feel like there's like now there's less worth it.
Yeah. I guess that's something that's very low priority. I guess that could be a question, right? If anyone feels like it's necessary to do anything, or if it's all just purely optional. Because if it is all purely optional, then anything that's even remotely important, you have boosted at this point. So, you know, fuck it. If you're like level 275 and you're like, okay, I have a bunch of boost nodes opened, and maybe I just want to fix this for once and for all, you know. And by that time, you have it figured out. I think it's all very low prio, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Higher prio, I think, would be to level up maybe your blitz shield again. I don't know how useful that becomes when it comes to the DPS that it does.
No, it's for survivability.
Yeah,
it increases the percentage HP you get.
Oh, okay.
The higher you are.
But it doesn't last longer because it's a pretty short duration, right?
Nope, it's the same duration.
Okay, but use it now for mobbing, right? It's like an extra AoE.
Yeah, use it for mobbing now. It's just a pain to activate because you have to press it twice.
Yeah. You should do is like I jump, activate it, land on a portal up, and then I'm in the position where I want to use it, and then I down jump once to get like in the middle of the map, then I explode it, and then I do like 2 rotations without to kind of like find like a dead moment, because it keeps you in place a little bit as well. So usually I try to like jump activate it. Yeah. I find that jump activating I like the best because you're still moving forward, plus the whole animation is the length of a jump, so it helps not get stuck.
Yeah.
And I put like I put the totem on the portal where I need to teleport, so I know exactly where to jump to.
yeah.
It's like a little trick, because otherwise, you know, because the mobbing isn't the best, so you have to like, you know, kind of make mini games within the mobbing to keep it interesting. And I guess then the blessing probably like the level up just to get way more stat during your burst to make that stronger. Probably be important one to level at this point. I guess Weapon Aura does get better uptime if you level it, which helps your overall damage, your DPM a little bit, plus the final damage that it gives. And again,
it does give 5.
Yeah, a little bit of final damage, and a little bit more IED as well, which, you know, if you're moving away from IED and the familiars, making that up a little bit in other directions like this one is probably a good idea.
Right. But I think 84 visual without this, it's okay, no?
Oh yeah, you're okay.
Okay.
Because you have FAM's coming in.
Okay.
Yeah, the superior set goes from 15 to 30 on it, right? So you think that
I thought it was 15 to 20. Like it was very marginal on the IED. But
it's either the ID is the same and the boss damage goes up, or it's the other way around. Because it reinforces 30 and 15, but I forget now which one it gives 30 of and which one it gives 15. And then superior is 30-30.
It's 30-30 for superior set.
Yeah, and then which one is 15 in the reinforced? Is it the
reinforced?
Yeah, it's the ID.
15 ID.
Yeah. So you get a 15 ID on a 15 clump. So that's a decent increase there. Yeah, and weapon aura's uptime goes pretty high when you max it out. I think it's like 80% uptime or something. Lasts a damn long time, so that's always nice.
140 out of 180.
Yeah, which is what's the percentage on that? Divide over 9.
77.
Yeah, well, so that was closer to 80.
That's pretty good.
Did you just do that by heart?
No, I calculated.
Okay.
Yeah.
And teachers used to say that you wouldn't have a calculator with you at all times. Little did they know. We have our phones all the time.
Okay. So then I guess with hitting 10 trill, do you think just by getting like 10 trill BA will be what? 21 CRA and then 21 superior set?
So you said we're at 7 now. Yeah, I haven't done my BA in a while, which that could help as like a little bit of a reference point because I'm not super far away. I am at 21 CRA and at 20 ABSO, but I have not checked
have 3
in
21s.
so long. Sorry, you have 20?
Yeah, I only have 321.
Yeah. Yeah, but you have the arcane though, and that's a good set.
Like surprisingly, the arcane only gave me half a trill. Like from 15 to 17.
Mm-hmm. So like 6.5 to 7, or?
Yeah, 6.5 to 7. Yeah.
I mean, that's a 13th of your damage, right? That's almost 8% final damage. That's not too bad. Yeah, usually I find like half a trill doesn't sound like a lot, but if you say 8% final damage increase, I feel like that does sound like a lot, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, it kind of depends on what number you use. Because if someone is endgame and is saying like, oh, I gained a trill of damage, that can be little to them if they're doing 20 trill, but if you're saying like I gained 5% final damage, they'd be like, oh shit, that's huge.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It depends on what metric you use there, I guess. 21 CRA and 20. Well, you're currently at what, 20, 18, and 17 on CRA?
I think I'm 21 on the top.
Oh yeah,
18 on the hat and 18 on the pants.
21, 18, yeah.
So it's only 3, so it will be like 60.
Yeah, you can see
60-ish attack.
The difference, right? Yeah, so like 40-ish on each. Yeah.
Yeah, so 80 attack.
Yeah, and stat-wise, it's an extra 33, so like 60, 65 stats. I think the one thing you might need on top of that would be to get the sweet water up. But the move first is to make the Golic stuff because of the stat bonus plus all of the stat bonus. So it might be once you hit the 21 Sweetwater stuff that you hit that 10 trill, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and then maybe you need the Kana and the Flames as well, like that piece. But I think before you hit the 3 line all equips, I think. So like
10 trill.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because it's possible that also by that point, maybe you work more on the inner ability. That kind of comes in, yeah.
Yeah, well, if I do the inner ability and I roll either 10 or 20, then I'll just get a little bit more attack.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Zelpix is in here, says Buff Hero. Zelpix, I think, made his own, made the hero Discord because there was only the Explorer Warrior one, so he made like one specifically for heroes.
Yeah.
So if you're in there, you'll see his name a lot.
Yeah, it's the backbone of our community.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Okay. No, I think very helpful session. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, you're welcome. Yeah, hopefully that helped reprioritize that a little bit and see where all the milestones are, I guess. As long as you have those roughly, right, then you can... It looks like you'll do just fine finding your own way there with all these numbers and pictures, and I'm sure most people are going to be very impressed with all that. Is that an extra soul bag? What is that? Or is it a material bag? In your storage?
It's a soul bag.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is a soul bag.
Was there... Oh, is that from Gachapon?
Yeah, I roll a lot of Gachapon.
Right, because otherwise all of the ones you can get like from event shops and all those are all untransferable, I thought. So I was like, how is it in storage? But yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, this is a 20 one.
The 20, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
These are the same ones that are probably going to come to the shop after the event, where they also, like, once we get the droplets, we'll also get a bunch of bags that we can buy. So like the material bags, like the 20 slot ones that you have, that you can't craft but you get from Gachapon, like those, and then 20 material bag and 20 soul bag, and all of those are going to be like in a shop just available for buying.
Well,
so that should be good stuff.
give Nick some of my money for nothing.
I think if you're looking for stuff that you can maybe clean up on, you definitely don't need that many mana crystals. So you have like 4 stacks there. You could probably get rid of 3 of those very easily without needing to feel bad about that. There's quite some stuff that require them, but you can never get rid of 9,000. Like, you'll run out of every other significant material before you can get rid of even one stack of those. Yeah, it's
I
not
don't
like
the horde stuff, but so
if it's like Grand Spell essences, you do want to hoard those because you never know if they're going to become like really relevant, and then or you want to use them and then you can actually run out if you don't hoard them the whole time, right? Or like Twisted Times, if you NPC a little bit too far down and then you want to make a bunch of Meisters and then like, oh, bottleneck, rip.
Right.
But yeah, as long as you look at the amount of primals you have and then you just have like ×8 or ×9 or ×10, then you have a bit of a buffer and then you're good to NPC beyond that. Oh, I guess one last thing. If you are, you have your sights on like Tenebris stuff and maybe Black Mage eventually, don't underestimate getting those Sparks of Determination as early as possible.
Okay. I don't do those.
Yeah, like because those drop from Gloom and from Darknell. I never did the dailies, and I started those bosses a little bit late. And that can be a bottleneck if you're trying to do Black Mage and have enough entries for the boss, because you need 50 of those per entry. And if you're practicing...
Even for practice?
Yeah, there's no practice mode. There's just the real mode going in, and that costs one of those keys. As long as you do enough Varusilla, you'll definitely get enough of the items to turn them into keys, but you need 50 per. So, getting like 10 practice runs in seems like, people are doing it faster and faster now, but like 10 practice seems reasonable, but that's 500 of them, yeah. So that can really melt those, whatever buffer you have there very quickly. So even just getting into normal Gloom and Darknell, even if you don't want to do the hard version, could be a decent idea. And what some people do, you have the option as well now, of course, if your Kana is higher level, is to just join someone else doing normal on the Kana and getting extra there and then transferring them over so you can double dip on them. So that is that could be a good thing to do, because people gladly have another Kana there, just like domain for me, I'll burst it down. It's a win-win, and then you can transfer over the sparks.
Right. Oh, actually, sorry. Now I look at I have a final question. For the reinforced ring, right now it's at 17, and then you can't really fodder it.
Yeah, you have to coin back up that
buy
one.
it.
Yeah.
But then you can only buy once a week. So how should I approach this? Should I just like at the event just try to get to 21, boom, buy another one, and then
if the event approaches and you're seeing on the like event page or like the Sunny Sundays, like there's one coming and it's like next up on the list, right? I would say definitely buy one on the previous week, just to have one backup. If you end up not needing it, it's 450 coins down the drain, but in the grand scheme of things, you don't have much else to spend on anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. And then if it does boom, then you can have another backup, and then you can at least have 3 to use.
Makes sense.
That's what I would do. Some people will just buy 4 of them or something and have like a giant backup, and then, you know, if they have a bunch left over, it's whatever, and then they get rid of them again, and then they'll just start building up again to get 22 Golics. If you know, that's why some people would go 22 per Golix piece, so that they know that those are done, and then they can buy as many reinforced as they want, because there's no downside to it at that point.
Right.
But that's like a completely, that's like a different approach, I guess, to the whole thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I would buy at least one extra, yeah. But you got a lot of reinforced earrings, and you even have a lot of superior earrings backup, right?
I do have a lot of backups.
Yeah. So that means that 22 is I would say feasible with earrings, just by the sheer amount of backups that you have. When you want to do it, it's totally up to you, of course.
Okay. Okay.
We got some DOMs. Yeah, you can never have too many DOMs with the prospect of the other ones. I guess the bean marks. Yeah.
I got rid of them today.
You got rid of. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's up to you. I'll probably get rid of them just to create some extra space, because there's so much cool stuff that you want to keep, and yeah, you're gonna notice your inventory just keeps getting fuller and fuller, more quicker and more quickly.
Yeah,
so.
it's getting quick. It's getting full.
Yeah. Because you're gonna maybe have more Meisters in there, more kind of treasures, more DOMs, and then fills up. If you want to keep any cool event items, you know, just for mementos, then it's gonna be full before you know it.
Yeah.
All right. You feel like you got everything you needed?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's pretty clear for the next 6 months.
Yeah, at least.
Hopefully I achieve those goals.
Yeah, there'll be more stuff coming out of KMS, no doubt, in the next 6 months, and that might adjust the plans a little bit, or set some new goals more realistically or less realistically. And there might be some reworks, and especially looking at the Explorer reworks coming hopefully soon, right, to KMS. Maybe that'll have some impact on Hero as well. Might have some impact on the V-Matrix, maybe, right? If they redo some skills, maybe other skills will become more relevant, and then you have to redo your boost nodes anyway. So you might be in a good position for that you haven't really 100% figured that out yet. Because maybe if they switch some stuff over, you'll have to switch anyway. So that might put you in a good position. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I'll do my best to cover all the stuff that's coming out of KMS. So it'll probably be late in December, though, from what I heard. Might be like another 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, I think from what Kobe said in his video, it seems that the update will probably only go live very late in December, like the 28th or something, because of how the current events are going. So it might be another 2 to 3 weeks even before we see something in the test server.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll do my best to cover it when that comes out. So, and then no doubt Kobe will, and Steve probably will. So we'll probably see a lot of people making content around that.
Yeah. Well,
all right. Well,
thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for waiting. No problem. And I wish you the best of luck on everything. I'll upload it to YouTube if you need to watch it back. And if anything comes up, you know where to find me.
Yep.
All right. Awesome. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Yep. Good. No worries. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Cool. It was a great call. Thank you, Discord. Thanks for checking up on me. All right. Yeah, I totally overslept, so we did this one a little bit later than intended, but we got it done. All right. Hero. Good stuff, all right? I expect all of you, with the progression sessions from now on, to deliver everything in this format, okay? Nothing less will do. I'm just kidding. This is going above and beyond, all right? This is a very cool way of presenting everything. I appreciate that he updated everything after the event today as well to make sure all the pictures were up to date and everything. That's, yeah, I can't expect that from everyone. It'd be cool if everyone did this, but damn. That's pretty sexy. That's hot. That's hot. But cool. Yeah. So hopefully this session was informational for some of you. Maybe, you know, what is short-term here and midterm here is actually like midterm and long-term, or long-term and super long-term for you guys. But hopefully those steps made sense for you, and the things that were brought up are some things that you can maybe already keep in mind and start preparing for, so that they don't come as a surprise when you get to the point where you kind of want to get into it, right? That's always the annoying thing, is if it's like, okay, now I want to upgrade this thing, which means I needed 6 backups, which means I had to start that 3 months ago. Shit, you know? You don't want to be in that situation, ideally. So the more heads up you can get, and the more you can prep for that kind of stuff, if you want to eventually do that the better. So if you liked the session, I'm glad. If it was helpful for you and it enjoyed you watched it and it made your totem a little bit less boring, then I'm then I'm glad I did that. Yeah, if you want one of these sessions, make sure you check the link in the description. I do these paid sessions also for channel points if you are a subscriber on my Twitch channel. So go over there if you want to hang out and if you want to start gathering your Moses. That's the currency that you get. And if you want a chance to win one of these sessions, at the end of every month, I give away 2 free sessions. Make sure you leave a comment saying that you would like to win that so I can maybe grab your comment out of the bunch and you could win and get one of these sessions for free with me. And then, you know, you hit me up on Discord and I'll hit you up on YouTube and then we'll figure it out. Yeah, other than that, website is still in development, so stay tuned for that. I'll stop mentioning that every single video and we'll just give an update, you know, once an update is due. But yeah, I'll just thank you for watching. Good luck on the rest of your totem if it isn't 2 hours yet. I think you have a little bit time to go. Good luck on that last 10 to 15 minute push, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, YouTube. Everyone say bye, YouTube chat. Look at the Twitch chat. Ah, they love you, YouTube. Look at that. All right. And on that note, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.